Greetings. Welcome back to Ministry Monday. I'm really excited. We're just starting, Lane and I are just starting our first rollout of the Disciple Makers training course that we've spent a lot of hours working on. It's exciting. We have our first group launched, and we'll be back to you with more reflection on what all that's doing in a few days. As I begin to think about the transition for the life of Christ and His ministry to the work of the apostles, I have little doubt that Peter was surprised at Jesus' conversation with him along the Sea of Galilee. That conversation is recorded in the latter part of John, and there are a lot of messages on ministry relationships in Jesus' conversation with Simon Peter in that particular chapter. One of Jesus' last instructions to Peter was, "Feed my sheep." He repeats that a number of times. The events leading to this instruction are interesting. Peter, a professional fisherman, and his peers have fished all night on the Sea of Galilee, and they have caught absolutely nothing. From the shore, Jesus gives them instruction, and 153 fish were caught. When the ship then arrives at the shore, Jesus had prepared a seaside dinner, if you please, for this little group. After dinner, Peter and Jesus are in conversation, and Jesus asks Peter 3 different times, "Do you love me more than these?" These what? Might it be that Jesus was pointing to the fish that they had caught as he repeatedly asked Simon Peter this question? You see, fish had long been Peter's measure of success. And now Jesus was asking Simon, "Do you love me more than the thing or things that you've always thought to be a measure of your personal success?" Anytime you read something that is repeated a number of times in the Scripture, it is given there for emphasis. And the fact that Jesus says this 3 different times indicates that there was real significance to what he was saying to Simon Peter. It was not a casual question. So let's bring it to us. As a ministerial leader, do I love him more than the things that have in the past been a measure of my success? What about you? Do you love him more than the things that once you thought to truly measure you? We must love God, and we must love our calling to him more than these. Peter's these may have been fish. Now, my these would not be fish. What are the these in your life? Lovest thou me more than these? These can be a lot of different things. It could be education. It could be financial security, a well-established career. It could be preaching camp meetings or youth events. It could be the books that a person has written. It can be where that we're privileged to drop the right names as being our friends or someone that we has preached for. It could be these of holding a particular district office. Or if we want to be a little more carnal, it can be our golf game or the bass boat or our stock market portfolio, our vacation travel, or our scrapbooking. Lovest thou me more than these? What is your these? The thing you'd miss so much if you never got to do it again. Lovest thou me more than these? An acquaintance tells me that he's been privileged to preach 50 camp meetings. I suspect that his these might be those camps. He's really kept a close count. The fellow who said, "Brother Coon, this church building's worth $5 million. There's not anything like it in our entire region." I have an idea that I know what his these is. How about the young fellow who inserts the names, the places, and the people he's preached for into every conversation, whether it's really convenient or not? They are likely his these. What's your these? Maybe I've looked at being relevant or popular, powerful, as dashboard indicators of having an effective ministry. The truth, however, is that Being relevant or being popular or powerful are not vocations of God. They're temptations that lead us away from God. They can be my fish. It's interesting that Jesus had no assignment for Peter until the matter of Peter's love was clearly and decisively resolved. Jesus does not say, feed my sheep, and then ask, lovest thou me more than these? The lovest me more than these has to be addressed first of all. We have to immerse ourselves in the things of God, studying His Word, preparing ourselves, learning how to more effectively deal with people on God's behalf, being people who invest in leaders, influencers who will follow after us, people who will make a difference after we are gone. Lovest thou me more than these?